Aloha everyone and welcome to Skincare with Hyram. If you don't know who I am, my name is Hyram and I'm passionate about teaching you how to perfect your skincare routine. So make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so that you can see my videos every single week. So I have a photo shoot in like 15 minutes. Yeah, 15 minutes. And if there's one thing I hate more than anything in the world, it's a photo shoot. Oh my god, I hate them so much. It's like 30 minutes of discomfort and watching my self-esteem slowly just fizzle away. So I'm gonna make this video as long as possible. I wish I was kidding. The truth about Proactiv. This video has been so requested and I am so ready to make it because I have my thoughts about this brand. And from what I've seen, there seems to be a little bit of confusion as to what my thoughts are on this brand. Yeah, I said it right. I did, right? Whatever. And I only realized that recently when Curology was using me for their new marketing campaign, and I was looking at some of the comments and seeing what people were messaging me, and so many people were like, Hyram's bought out. He said he hated Curology. Now he loves them. What's going on? And I was so confused because I was like, I've always loved Curology, like since way back in the beginning of my channel. What the hell are you guys talking about? And then I realized it's because they mixed up my thoughts with Proactiv, and I was like, oh, okay. For this video, I deep dived into all the ingredients for all of Proactiv products, and I want to talk about them with you guys. If you aren't familiar with my Truth About videos, I like to talk about brands overall and from a formula standpoint and go through ingredient by ingredient to let you know whether I think it's worth it or not. Most of the time not, but sometimes there's good ones. I mean, some of my favorite brands that I did Truth About videos where I railed on them hard have some of my favorite products as well. It's a nuanced view, but I definitely have my personal opinion when it comes to Proactiv, and I want to get into it with you guys. So let's get into it. So I don't know about you guys, but when I think of Proactiv, I think of the TV commercials with Katy Perry when she has one tiny little pimple on her forehead and she's saying, I really struggled with acne, like it was really, really hard. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Katy Perry, but that's literally what comes to mind. And these commercials were fucking everywhere, and they always advertised their 3-piece system to abolish acne forever. And not gonna lie, their products were pretty convincing, because I remember even at one point with my little country ass thinking,
what is that?
And that was about as deep as it got. But considering I knew nothing about skincare, honestly, that's pretty impressive. The reputation among Proactiv was that it was really for teenagers who were struggling with a shit ton of acne. All the people I knew who got on Proactiv were either A, rich, or 2, really struggling with breakouts. I don't know if teenagers to this day still use Proactiv, because when I was younger, it was definitely really big, but I think nowadays the skincare industry has changed so much and there's so many more options out there, so I don't even know if Proactiv is performing in the way that it used to. But also when I think of Proactiv, I think of the thousands upon thousands and thousands of messages and comments that you guys have sent me talking about how Proactiv destroyed your skin and you're trying to find skincare to repair it afterwards. So Proactiv doesn't have a good rep going for it. The overall brand philosophy I really resonate with, more medical, sophisticated, no-nonsense type skincare that delivers the results it's supposed to. But let's get into the ingredients, because ingredients don't lie, bitch. Ingredients don't lie, bitch merch in the description box below. Ingredients tell the truth way more than any marketing campaign, claims, celebrity sponsorships, etc., etc. Like I said before, they have their signature 3-piece systems, and they have 3 different systems. The first and most popular being the original acne treatment system. Now, from what I can tell, this is the OG one that they advertised way back in my day. How old am I? That makes me sound like I'm a boomer. Back in my day. This is the one that promised to get rid of any acne, and it has a cleanser, a toner, and a moisturizer. So the cleanser is formulated with 2.5% benzoyl peroxide. Now, benzoyl peroxide is one of the best, if not the best, acne treatment ingredient out there. I recommend it on my channel a lot, as well as salicylic acid. I personally like salicylic acid more because I think it just has more benefits and less downsides, but benzoyl peroxide, from a dermatologist perspective, is the best ingredient for not only getting rid of acne, but also blackheads and post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation, which are the spots that you get after you break out that are kind of like dark scars. 2.5% isn't a crazy high concentration, so it's more of a gentle cleanser. And alongside this ingredient, there's also sodium hyaluronate, a concentrated form of hyaluronic acid to draw in moisture, and chamomile, which is great for soothing sensitive skin. I personally will say, I think this is a good product. It's a gentle cleanser that's formulated with a low concentration of benzoyl peroxide for anyone who does have a little bit more sensitive or compromised skin. The only downside to this cleanser is that it does have fragrance. The cleanser is honestly fine. It's something I would use. I think it's basic. It's a gentle concentration of benzoyl peroxide. But moving on to the next products like the toner, my opinion shifts on that a little bit. Now the toner from them is basically the Rose Pixie toner. There's not much difference. The second ingredient is glycolic acid, and glycolic acid is an amazing ingredient for the skin to help exfoliate the dead skin cells off. And while I think glycolic acid is amazing, in no way do I think it should be used every single day. Like, it's definitely a very strong exfoliant that should be split up. And this product also has witch hazel, which I'm not going to completely condemn Proactiv for using witch hazel, but I will say in products that are meant for people with really breakout, acne prone, or sensitive skin, I wouldn't necessarily say that's the best ingredient to use. It also has fragrance as well, which is really where I say I really think this toner is similar to Pixie. From an ingredient list standpoint, there's not that much of a difference, and I definitely don't think it should be used every day like they claim. Finally, the moisturizer. It's also formulated with 2.5% benzoyl peroxide and has a very, very, very basic formula with silicones and no nonsense. I don't have a problem with a very simple formula, and I don't have a problem with silicones. I think they can be really beneficial for anyone who's experiencing a lot of water loss through their skin, which is definitely people who are struggling with breakouts. Think about breakouts like holes in a well. You're gonna leak a lot of water. What the hell? That voice sounded like Trump. Mom, can you come pick me up? I don't like that it is formulated with benzoyl peroxide in a leave-on treatment. First off, because I don't know if you've ever tried benzoyl peroxide leave-on treatments, but they are not fun. They stain your sheets. They're not the most pleasant formulas to use. I feel like you constantly have to worry about it accidentally touching your clothes and bleaching it. But also because I don't believe it's necessary in addition to the other treatment ingredients in the other products that you use every day, which is kind of like my main problem with this entire system. But unfortunately, the moisturizer does have fragrance as well. All the products in their original system for acne-prone skin have fragrance. If you don't know my opinion on fragrance, no, it's not the devil, even though I'm dramatic as fuck and I usually say that anyway. But I truly don't believe it's evil. It's just not necessary to a formula, and especially in formulas where they're preaching to be used for sensitive skin. Fragrance should not be in those formulas because it's only risking additional sensitivity while providing no purpose and benefit to the actual formula itself. It's just unnecessary. I'm a big believer that treatments are amazing for the skin, but that you need to be very particular about what steps they're being used in and how often you're using them. And my main issue with this system is that you're going in with a benzoyl peroxide cleanser, then following up with a glycolic acid toner, and then following up with another benzoyl peroxide treatment on top, and then not wearing sunscreen. What? Proactiv has always been adamant about how this 3-step system is the only skincare routine that you need, which while I somewhat agree with the minimalistic approach to skincare, I definitely disagree with some major points. One of the big problems these days I think that there is within the skincare community is that people tend to overly treat their skin. They're using too many treatment ingredients, too many exfoliants, too many retinols, and pushing the skin over the edge, when in reality, a lot of times people's skin just needs a good amount of moisture, a good basic amount of exfoliation, and soothing treatments. And a lot of times overusing treatments creates the actual problem that you're trying to avoid, and it doesn't allow your skin to ever really have a break to recover. So to think that anyone who uses this 3-step system every single day with all those treatment ingredients alongside potentially irritating fragrance while not using sunscreen, I don't know, kind of a lot at once. And I don't blame Proactiv for not necessarily including a sunscreen, but when you're stacking that many actives on top of each other, I think it's good nature. And I know that it's possible for them because they do include a sunscreen in their next system, which I will talk about next. Looking at these ingredients, I honestly wouldn't recommend this toner. And if you are looking for like a higher concentration of glycolic acid without risking any irritation or sensitivity, I would highly recommend the glycolic acid treatment from Krave Beauty, Kale-lalu-yAHA. It is amazing. My skin is somewhat sensitive to a high concentration of glycolic acid, or if you're really wanting to, go as high of a concentration as you can, the ordinary glycolic solution is also great from an ingredient standpoint. My skin was really sensitive to it, but I still think it's a great formula so long as you are using sunscreen. If you are looking for a good sunscreen to use, I highly recommend checking out my sunscreen videos. I've done one, what was that? My sunscreen videos. I've done one on drugstore sunscreens and one on my favorite drugstore sunscreens. Oh my god, am I having a stroke? Is a stroke a symptom of COVID? Sunscreens. I have a whole video dedicated to my favorite ones overall. Next is their Proactiv MD 3-piece system. This one is kind of like the premium of their systems, I believe, like the best quality one, at least from what I was able to see. It seems very like medical, very dermatology. The cleanser from this line is actually really good, and it's probably my favorite product from the whole line. It has green tea to soothe redness and jojoba oil esters for hydrating but also balancing the moisture of the skin, and it's not too stripping at all, and it's fragrance free. The moisturizer from this line though is meh, at best. I mean, it has panthenol, which is a good hydrating agent, but that's about the only ingredient that I was like, ooh, that looks good. It is a sunscreen moisturizer, but it does utilize chemical UV filters. Now, I'm not going to bag on Proactiv too hard. At least they have a sunscreen. I am happy for that, but I'm personally not a fan of chemical UV filters, especially for anyone with more sensitive skin, which seems to be their primary clientele. And overall, the formula is just very basic. Like, honestly, I could find a lot of very similar sunscreens at the drugstore for way less. I don't like products that are moisturizers and sunscreens in one, because in reality, you don't need very much moisturizer for your face, but you need a lot of sunscreen for your face. And in order to get enough sunscreen on your face, you would have to use a lot of that moisturizer, like a good amount of that. And most of the time for moisturizer sunscreens like that, people just aren't using a large amount. And in a line that's entirely focused on active ingredients, exfoliants, acne repair, it's really critical that you're getting the highest protection of sunscreen possible. And I really wish it wasn't like a moisturizer and a sunscreen in one, but I'm not complaining too much. At least they have a sunscreen in their line. I recommend where possible splitting up your moisturizer and sunscreen step, or just using a sunscreen instead of a moisturizer, because most sunscreens do already have hydrating and moisturizing agents that function exactly like a moisturizer. If you are looking for good mineral ones at the drugstore, these are a few of my new favorites. The Babo Botanicals Daily Sheer SPF 40 Mineral Sunscreen. This one is formulated with non-nano zinc oxide, and it's amazing. It's a mineral-based sunscreen that has a really lightweight formula and amazing ingredients. I was really blown away when I saw this ingredient list. And I would say it has a white cast rating of about 1 to 1.5. Good price point. I've really been liking this one. Or my newest discovery, the Cocokind SPF 32 Zinc Oxide Sunscreen. This one only has zinc oxide. Amazing ingredients, non-irritating. It is a little bit heavier on the skin, but it's really nice to be able to find this at Target. And if you want to have some good moisturizer recommendations, go check out my best drugstore moisturizer video, because I make recommendations based off of what your skin type will be and what will fit best for you. And then in this line, they also have their 0.1% adapalene gel. Now, if you don't know adapalene, it's actually a retinoid that used to be prescription, but it's no longer prescription. So you can buy it pretty much anywhere, and it's amazing for getting rid of acne, scarring, and aging as well. But here's the thing. You can find adapalene in a very affordable formula at the drugstores called Differin. It's super popular, and the formula is nearly identical to the Proactiv one. There's not too much of a difference, and you guys know me. I don't really think you should just be like throwing your money away if you can find just as good of a product at the drugstore, but it's not bad and it's fragrance free, so I'm happy to see that. Overall, this system, I will say, is the best system that they have, albeit that I'm not necessarily blown away by it. It's not bad. And then finally, they have their Proactiv Plus Acne Treatment System. Now, this one is a little, I guess you could say, step up from the original one, but to be honest, I feel like it's just kind of an addition on to the original acne system. They have their Skin Smoothing Exfoliator, which I believe is an exfoliating cleanser. It's also formulated with 2.5% benzoyl peroxide, which kind of confused me a little bit, because I was like, wait, don't you already have the other system with the 2.5% benzoyl peroxide cleanser?
I am confusion.
It also has ingredients like coconut acid and linoleic acid, which I honestly get a little bit nervous about when in products aimed for people with more oily, acne sensitive prone skin, because these are known to potentially block pores and not be the kindest to people who do have an excess of moisture and oiliness on their skin. But this also has fragrance as well. So I honestly don't understand their reasoning for why they launched this cleanser when it's almost exactly the same as the other one. Came between the two, I honestly would recommend the original Acne Treatment System cleanser instead of this one. Then they have their pore targeting treatment with 2.5% benzoyl peroxide, which is a leave-on treatment that has hydrating ingredients like glycerin and sweet almond oil, but also has fragrance as well. And again, I don't really understand the purpose in this one when they already have the moisturizer from the other line that also has 2.5% benzoyl peroxide. Do you guys see what I'm saying when I'm a little bit confused by this line? I just don't know what to think of it. Like if they would have had one with fragrance and then one without fragrance, I would have been like, oh, okay, here we go. I'm here for this. They're really similar, and I don't understand the benefit of one over the other. I don't know. Finally, their Complexion Perfecting Hydrator, which this one I think is unique and definitely the best product in this system. It has 0.5% salicylic acid, so you are getting that salicylic acid benefit, but at a lower concentration, not anything too risky or sensitizing. There's a bunch of antioxidant-rich root extracts, licorice root extract, which helps to brighten any dark spots on the skin, sodium hyaluronate, squalane to help moisturize the skin, bisabolol, a great antioxidant. There is some palm oil in there, but it's at such a low concentration, so it's not crazy bad, but again, I'm not crazy about seeing palm oil products, and unfortunately fragrance. But I really think Proactiv did find kind of like a good formula. Besides the fragrance, I actually am really impressed by this formula, and I think on its own it would be really good. But again, we come back to the problem of having so many actives layered on top of each other. A benzoyl peroxide cleanser with a benzoyl peroxide leave-on treatment with a salicylic acid moisturizer. Oh, that's just so many treatments stacked on each other. I get worried for the sensitivity of the skin. And honestly, a good alternative to both of these cleansers would just be either the CeraVe Acne Foaming Cleanser. It's a 4% benzoyl peroxide cleanser with no fragrance and good ingredients to really get those benefits, or just using the Panoxyl 4% or 10% benzoyl peroxide cleanser as well. Both of those are available at the drugstore. They do what they're supposed to do. They're really effective and they're non-irritating. And honestly, what more could you ask for? If you've watched my videos, you know that I'm always like, be careful when it comes to treatments. Be very particular about when you use them. Don't overdo it. Be careful. And then when I see brands like this coming in and recommending just layering actives upon actives upon actives without a sunscreen, I'm like, ugh. What was the reason? I don't know, it's just unnecessary, and I think teaching people that the more actives a product has, the better, which is not true whatsoever. Alongside having good actives, you need to have good, hydrating, soothing ingredients to reinforce your skin so you don't push it over the edge. And then we come to one of my least favorite things about this brand is that they really encourage their customers to buy all these products together in these 3-piece sets and then bill them like every 2 weeks to 30 days instead of paying one lump sum. So initially you're like, wow, $30 for a 3-piece set, that's actually a really good price. But you have to really read in the fine lines to see that, oh, that's only one of the 3 payments that they're going to be deducting from my account. This actually costs $90 or $100, which means that each of these products come down to about $30 to $35 each, which is not very cheap. I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world, but I would consider that to be kind of low-end luxury. And with the formulas that they're providing, and literally that you can find almost exactly the same formulas at a drugstore price point, that to me is a little bit of a ripoff. I don't know that it's worth that price point. And maybe this is an unpopular opinion, but I'm the type of person where I'm like, show me the total up front. Don't give me a certain price and then charge me more later. I want to know the entire price. It just seems a little old-fashioned, and it feels a little bit like Proactiv is kind of stuck in the old TV days, like when you would call the number and give them your credit card information and then they'd bill you 3 different times. I'm like, girl, catch up with the times. We're no longer doing that. We just like seeing the price in front of us and being able to judge whether it's worth it or not for ourselves, and not being catfished into this certain price point and then having to pay that every single 30 days or 2 weeks. Do you guys agree? So now we come to my final thoughts on the brand. What do I think of Proactiv? Well, for benefits, the positives. I do like that they introduced a lot of people to the world of skincare. I like that they got the conversation going among teenagers back when a lot of teenagers just didn't know that skincare was an option at that age. And be it whether they did damage a lot of people's skin or not, I do think that there is value in introducing people into the world of skincare to start up that conversation. But for downsides, I think first off, the brand is just too simple. They really ride on this 3-step routine, but in my mind don't necessarily have the right steps. Like the fact that 2 out of their 3 systems don't include a sunscreen, to me is not the worst thing, but when you're telling people that this is all the skincare that you need, there is a problem with that because you absolutely need sunscreen. I mean, it's the most important thing, and when you're using really strong actives like what they deliver, it makes it all the more important to use a sunscreen. But in addition to that, they use too many treatments. They're using so many ingredients that are stacked on top of each other for daily use that could overly sensitize your skin and push it over the edge. I don't think that you should be using a benzoyl peroxide cleanser, a strong exfoliating toner, and a benzoyl peroxide moisturizer all on the same day, repeating that 7 days a week. That's a lot, and it's really important that you give your skin a break by using products that don't have treatment ingredients. It's like the brand is simple in the wrong ways and also complicated in the wrong ways. I also believe that Proactiv is overpriced for the formulas that they're delivering. I'm really not impressed. I would love to see them utilize a lot more natural extracts, deliver higher quality sunscreens, mineral-based sunscreens, utilize soothing agents, more high quality moisturizing agents, something beyond the formulas that look almost identical to the drugstore ones that we have today. And I think that maybe because Proactiv is still riding on their success from way back when, but people are becoming educated about skincare. People are looking at their ingredient list and people are getting really picky. And if brands like Proactiv don't catch up soon and start delivering really high quality formulas that match what people are looking for, they're going to be left in the dust. And that's just the way that business works. And then finally, I don't like that in a lot of their products, they do include fragrance and irritants, particularly within their acne treatment systems. I think it's super ironic that in a system made for people with the most sensitive and irritated skin that they're using unnecessary fragrance. In my mind, it just shouldn't be in there, and they're excluding an entire audience of people who could be using their products had they not have formulated with fragrance. Because if you didn't know, fragrance allergies are rising every single year, and it's becoming a big issue. And if brands don't extend their reach into fragrance-free formulas to deliver to their customers, again, they're going to be left behind. And you know, I think there is something to be said about the thousands of comments that I get from people saying that Proactiv absolutely destroyed your skin. I can't ignore that, and for that reason, I just don't like Proactiv. I'm not a fan of the brand, and honestly, I just wouldn't recommend them. And given all of this, I want to answer a question you guys are constantly asking: do I think Curology is better than Proactiv? And to that I say yes, I do believe Curology is better. I've always loved Curology. I love that they always stick to fragrance-free and non-irritating formulas. I love that they only have their one treatment product. I love that they connect you with dermatology providers to answer your questions, just like so many reasons. I mean, there's a reason why I partnered with Curology, and I haven't partnered with Proactiv. And I mean, this goes way back. You can see my unsponsored video about Curology from, was it 2 years ago? So yeah, if you were to go with one, I would personally recommend Curology. It's more bang for your buck, better formulas, and just all over a better experience. But what do you guys think? What are your thoughts on Proactiv? Do you think I dragged them enough? Do you think I should have dragged them more? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree? I want to know. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to my channel and to the notification bell so that you can see my videos every single week. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Mwah.